Yo, what is going on? This is your boy, ThatGuyFace, with Face the Music Media. We are back for episode 3 of Radio for Music Creators. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about how you can get started with your independent artistry and how you can get started on a path to get your album done and the things that you can put in place and the things that will be beneficial for you to use to get it going. Now is the perfect time. You know, with everything that's going on, most of us are in the house right now, and this is the perfect time for independent artists that, you know, want to complete their album at home right now. I would say this is the perfect time to really hone in and really start to dig in and figure out and get a plan for what you want to do with your independent artistry, with your album. You know, the thing is, as artists, we're very protective of our arts. We're very just sensitive about our art sometimes. And what can happen is you can lose sight of what it is that you were trying to do initially, or even if you don't lose sight, you can get cold feet. I see this happen all the time. I've worked with several independent artists that I would mix a whole project for them, and then like, man, you putting that joint out or what? What's up? Cold feet. I mean, let's just look at Jay Electronica, for example. Now, I don't know him personally. I don't know his situation. Maybe he didn't get cold feet. I don't know. It took him 10 years. He had all this hype and all of these people just waiting. Even with Dr. Dre, cats were waiting like, yo, where's the album? And it took years to drop an album. And it didn't get the best reviews, man. People were like, oh, man, 10 years for this? Okay. Now, I haven't heard the albums myself, so... I mean, I've heard the Dr. Dre one. I like that one. But, you know, it didn't get the best reviews. But as far as the Jay Electronica, it's not getting the best reviews, man. It's really not. And I think it's sad because with all that hype, and like I said, I don't know his situation, but from the outside looking in, if he would have just dropped music, man, he could have been one of the biggest artists, man. It was just so much hype around this cat. So, you know, don't end up like that. Don't do a 10-year look up. Don't even do a year. Don't look up and plan for an album and then it's 2 years later and you're like, man, get the art out. Get it out. You need to get it out of your system. The bad stuff comes out first. So the sooner you put more music out, the sooner you get to that more polished version of yourself, that more seasoned version of yourself. And then you can start tapping into that, you know, sauced up, like I'm in my bag. This is my vibe. This is my zone. You can't really tell me nothing type situation. Once you get to that point, you can feel it and you can hear it. People can hear it. And when you have that type of confidence, man, it translates into your music. And it's just like an awakening. When you get to that point where you just let go and you're like, you know what? I don't really care no more, man. It's just a crazy feeling. And I want all of you to experience that. You know what I'm saying? Because you deserve that. Every artist deserves that moment where nothing else matters but the music. That point where you realize you were recording a song or something and you spaced out like, dang, nothing else mattered for that small moment of time. I was literally like in the music. When you get to that point, man, it's just a beautiful feeling, man. And then that's when you start tapping into your true gifts and talents, man. So go ahead and get the music out, man. Which leads me to my first point, which is a plan and how important it is to have a plan. Planning is so important, and making up in your mind that, you know what, this is something I want to do, even if it's the beginning processes and you're not where you want to be as an artist as far as your skill level. The key is release the music, release the Kraken, so to speak. You dig? And you'll find out that the more art that you do, and this is with anything that you do in your life, the more stuff that you finish and complete and do, the better you're going to get naturally. The important key is you're never gonna see your full potential if you don't put yourself out there. It's extremely important to just let go and put yourself out there, man. Be vulnerable. It's okay. And if people hate the project, that's okay. If you listen to the videos that I had before, years ago, there was no direction. There's no, I kind of sound like, yeah, so, what you want to do is click on this, click on that. But now I have the vision. I've put out so much work and I've done so many speaking engagements to where I'm comfortable now. my voice can shine through, and that confidence, is felt. Even with my artistry, it's funny because I don't like to sing in front of people, but I don't have a problem speaking in front of people. I don't, like when it comes to my art, I'm very sensitive about my art, man. So, these things that I'm telling you guys, I had to do myself. And even to submit songs to be placed and this and that, I had to just suck it up and say, you know what, either I want placements or I don't, plain and simple. So I had to get out of that shell and say, you know what, man, if they hate it, whatever, I'll just take the criticism and apply it to my next works, and then we'll go from there. And what I found is that people had critiques, absolutely. And a lot of the stuff they thought was amazing. Like, yo, this is crazy, blah, blah, blah. And I would be thinking like, that's cool. They'd be like, nah, this is perfect, man. Send me all that. Send me whatever else you got like that too. I'm like, cool. So, you just never know, man. And when you put yourself out there, man, you open yourself up to opportunities that you didn't even know were available. You make up your mind and say, I'll do this album, and you put it out there, and you never know, man, you get hit up by people, or you submit, your songs to music supervisors or whatever the case to be, submitted for film placements and TV and stuff like that. And you might be thinking like, man, this ain't that good, man. I don't know if I'm ready, bro. And they'll mess around and say, man, this is amazing. Hey, can we use your whole album? We'll pay you X amount of dollars. And the budgets for film and TV are not like for regular placements. Trust me. Regular placements for major artists, sometimes they have nice budgets. If you're a bigger name, and even then, sometimes you gotta kind of, cut back on your fees. But in film and TV, it's a little different, man. It's a little different. The budgets are there. A lot of these projects are multi-million-dollar projects, and they'll have $100,000 to spend on music. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even more than that, that's low numbers. But the point is, put yourself out there, do the work, and just see what happens, man. You can make a couple decisions that could change your life for the rest of your life. And I just want all my independent artists out there to know that you can do it too, man. So let's get into this list of things that you can do to prepare yourself and, get your art out there. So with my experiences, if you listen to the previous podcast, I talked about some of my experiences out in Hollywood and this and that. Basically, one thing that I came to the conclusion is that, I have to do things independently if I really want to get it going and, in a way that would be pleasing to me, according to my vision. And the first thing I noticed is that I needed a plan of attack. So, I created a to-do list and action step list, with a checklist so I can hold myself accountable. And I stuck to that. And due to that, we're where we are today. And one thing I noticed with working with all these different independent artists out in LA and in Hollywood, I noticed that they all would just randomly come to the studio and record songs and be like, well, I'm gonna do an album, so I'm just recording songs and I don't really know, I don't have a vision, this and that. I'm just kind of recording songs. I know I want to put an album out, like I'm dope, but I just, I noticed a lot of them would just spend so much money and so much time just coming to the studio, recording song after song after song. And what I realized is, man, these artists don't have a plan. They don't have a checklist. They don't have anybody holding them accountable for a certain plan or goals that you need to attack and to have in place to make sure you're doing things in a timely manner, in a way that will be productive, in a way that, you'll get certain tasks complete the way they need to be for you to complete your album. So, from having those experiences, I realize it's very important to, for one, learn from other people's experiences and use those as a guide to know exactly what to do and what not to do. Now, you'll still make adjustments here and there as you go down this path. But I learned that one thing that's holding up a lot of these artists is no plan. So I said, okay, I'll create a plan and create a checklist and this and that. After that, I said, okay, what is it that I need to actually complete songs and turn them into a body of work that I can submit for placements and, I can use to submit to artists for them to record or for movies and TV shows? So I came up with this list, and we will cover that list in more detail in episode 4 of Radio for Music Creators. This is your boy, ThatGuyFace. This has been episode 3 of Radio for Music Creators. I hope you enjoyed this show. Make sure you click the like button, click the subscribe button, share this video, and let me know if you've completed an album. What are some of the steps that you took? What did you find was some of the hardest things that you had to accomplish in your process of, releasing your album and this and that? Hey, always remember, you are enough and you have what it takes. So with that being said, let's go out here and be great, man. Stay tuned for episode 4. We in here and we're gonna make it happen. One step at a time though, you know what I'm saying? So hey, keep up with your boy. Follow me on Instagram, ThatGuyFace. Follow my Instagram, FaceTheMusic Media. With that being said, yo, I'm out. Be safe out here and y'all have a blessed one, man. I'm out.